Gentleman from Kentucky for any questions he may have.
I have no questions.
A gentleman from South Carolina for any questions.
Let me make sure I'm understanding this right. What you're saying is the two things on your thought that it really wasn't a cut by the IRS, taking out dollars for the IRS. You're saying the CBO score avoids the CBO score, and it's not really a cut because the Senate will kick it out. Am I understanding that right?
Not exactly, but you're going the right track. Because the IRS funding is actually much more complex, and we could spend a half an hour walking through what the different line items. But CBO has come back and said $26+ billion cost over 10, so it's not immediate, over 10. So if you take this 14 out, it costs you 26.
Okay. I get that. Now, commerce, who's to say, is it a dollar for dollar offset of the money that's in commerce?
Yeah, no, that's the cash that you and I referred to as the slush fund when the debt ceiling was raised, and I'd like to dethaw that slush fund.
Now, what's going to prevent the Senate from kicking that? If they're really against us funding for Israel in any way, what's going to keep them from kicking that out?
They could kick that one out, but at least they will not have the excuse of it kicking that one out, the excuse of it raises the debt.
So you're just saying this is less objectionable?
It doesn't, it's fiscally more sound. That's all. You know, it's just, look, we have to live by the scorekeepers. That's how it's scored.
Do you trust CBO?
Oh, God, no. But we still have to live by it. You know, at some point, you know, and we, let's be honest, we use it, we'll speak to it when it supports something I'm doing, and I'll speak against it when it doesn't support, but
we can make it
I'm
any way.
I'm trying something unique here. I'm trying to be intellectually consistent.
I get that, but it's like the lawyer told me one time, you know, asking about a particular issue, we were in litigation. He said, I said, what's the law? He said, what do you want it to be? So CBO is, what do you want them to be at the time that you need them? But now, I guess but for you to say that this is really not a cut, let's say if the Senate does, a miracle happens, and they agree with the cuts to the IRS,
If they agree to the bill as it's written, then functionally, 10-year debt, we just raised $26 billion.
Okay.
And if you were to agree to my amendment and they agreed to that, U.S. debt changes zero.
Provided they go along with it.
Provided they go along, because this is money already
Can't
sitting
you
in those
see
line
Chuck
items.
Schumer making an argument that slush fund is not a slush fund? It needs to be for commerce, to promote business, to promote more taxes.
Yeah, the slush fund was actually, it actually is almost, it's a true slush fund. It may be one day used for technology, but it actually has not been put into any line item to do that.
But in your opinion.
So it's a true slush fund.
And I'm like Congressman DeGoose, I mean, you're great on the numbers. I mean, I watch you too, because it's interesting.
So you're the second one.
But if there's a better way to do this, I'd be glad to support it. I don't know how much thought went into this, to be honest.
And look, we're all running and gunning, and you know, this is the nature of, you know, we've been through a lot the last 3 weeks, and now we're trying to get the wheels out underneath us, and we're moving fast. We did some hard research on this, and we think it's a good number.
You think we will rescind we'll amend this bill to, instead of the language being that it comes from the IRS, that it's going to come from the slush fund?
Perfect.
Dollar for dollar. That's what you're saying.
That's what I have drafted.
Yeah, well, that's fine. I like your amendment then. Now, if the Senate slashes it, I'm going to have a difference with
Yeah, no, and God knows the House of Lords does often things that we can't understand.
Thank all of you for your testimony too. Appreciate it.